So, welcome everybody. This is the first podcast of many with the Late Night Gang at exactly 1:54 p.m. So, not late night at all. However, since we had the time, we decided to do it right now. My name's Donna Inacinto.
My name's Jake Moylet.
We go to St. Edward's, and this is the first step in many a journey. So, I guess today, in the spirit of firsts, we wanted to talk about shifting into college life. So we're both freshmen. I'm doing business administration, and what was
I'm pre-med or
pre-med?
biology.
Yeah. So you know, shifting in from high school, it's a pretty interesting time.
Yeah,
I definitely
pretty
think it's
fun.
been fun.
It's been good.
But yeah, so that's basically the thing for the day, the main idea. So with that tangent, we're going to talk about firsts in college. So, first thing I noticed was how much time I had. My Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I have two classes. So from 9 to 10:50, I have class. Then I'm done till 5. Then I have like jazz band. And you're pretty close to the same, right?
Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays I only have one class, so I have so much free time just to do whatever. Mostly, I really focused on more on my health actually, like working out.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
And I mean, we'll get to that later, but I want to
yeah, yeah,
like stick with like the differences between high school and college.
that's
So,
true, yeah.
what's up, James? Shout out to that Plano gang. Uh, yeah, so just to catch you up real quick, James, I don't know where you caught on, but just talking about the shift, the differences between high school and college. So with the time management is so hard. You know, I just want to like chill out. Because there's just like the difference between high school having classes from 7 hours, and then like I was in marching band, and then wanting to
Yeah.
like work out, and then like eating right.
Oh,
That was
that's the
hard.
hardest.
It's
That's
so
the
hard.
hardest.
And now that like I have all this free time, you would think it's easy, but then we have like the whole what's it called? Free will is a poison kind of thing.
Yeah,
So it's like when you have so many choices, you choose the easiest, and that's sit in your bed, watch Netflix, and
yeah.
eat. And I can see why it takes people, what, a year to get used to it. So
Mm,
on top of that, I had like a back injury kind of these past few weeks, past month
mm.
actually. So keeping up with like physical health has been pretty hard. He said he's into bed right now. But yeah, just getting over injuries is really hard. This back injury that I'm having, I can't really do a lot. So for this past month, I've been just trying to like eat healthy to counteract my sedentary lifestyle for now. Going to the chiropractor, trying to take it easy, and it's just like it's hard. Like you want to do stuff, but then
Yeah,
it's like you can't.
yeah,
And I know you with your knee because you wanted to do
yeah,
soccer.
yeah. I want to do soccer, but my knee just wouldn't let me.
Yeah, and it's just like it's such a drain mentally to
I
like
do.
motivation wise.
Yeah,
We have like what 3 weeks left in the semester
yeah,
because not counting next week, we've got let's see, we get back like the 26th.
yeah. Then we have two
Yeah,
weeks after
we have
that.
3 weeks of the semester left, and with that, I'm hoping that's when my sessions with the chiropractor ends. I'm hoping I can get back to the gym for winter. Get that bulk season on.
For this, for that summer bod.
Yeah,
Get that
summer bod
summer
for
bod.
winter. Um, yeah, so first thing about going into college, manage your time, bro. Like,
Yeah,
or girl or whatever you identify as. But yes, it is so hard to like. If you don't have the schedule, you will fall into that easy rhythm so fast. Even though my class starts at 9, I wake up at like 7:30 so I can like get ready. And like the first few weeks, I woke up at like 8:45 because my class
yeah,
is 5 minutes away. And I was just like, it doesn't even matter.
yeah,
Like, get up, get dressed. And that's the problem. Like I was saying with like eating breakfast, so many people didn't do that in high school. And like,
yeah.
that's why we're
Me,
starting to get fat
me.
because, you eat like two, maybe three big meals later
Mhm.
and you're not moving enough, um, all that stuff. And so it's pretty hard. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure, James. Um, the only thing is that in Austin, there's not a lot of that. This past 3 days, it has been cold, windy, wet, now sunny and hot. So you tell me what to do in those 3 days. Yeah, so stuff like jump roping is really good. Rowing, biking, cycling. Those are like the best ways that I've seen so far. You know,
Kayaking,
yes, kayaking is the best.
kayaking.
It's so much
Can't
fun
stress
when
that
it's
enough.
nice outside.
Can't stress that enough.
We had like
So
the best
beautiful.
time.
So beautiful.
And like watching the bats on like
That
even
was
though we
so
only saw
fun.
a few, it's like it's a really cool experience. Like especially like wherever you live, finding those like unique aspects about your city. You know, in Dallas, where I live, there weren't a lot of like rivers, lakes to like kayak on. I don't think they were in
No,
Midland,
there's
but yeah.
none. Unless
But
you
like
can like the little pools for the oil rigs.
yeah, but it was like pretty polluted or something.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah, so stuff like that, you know, finding unique ways in your city to get active. You know, we have the B cycles. You could just ride around for like an hour for $1, which isn't bad. And the only thing is just don't get hit. Austin
Yeah,
drivers
pretty
kind of
much.
suck. You have so much nightlife here. You know, with Sixth Street.
There's so
Um,
much.
Although I can say it, I definitely don't do it because it's extremely loud and
Crazy.
crazy.
It's really bad.
It's just a little too much for me. You know, stuff like that. It's like just too much. Like definitely, I would say maybe later. You know, when you can actually drink, because even at the age of drinking,
It's still crazy.
it's crazy,
It's
and like
chaotic.
you want to make sure you're with friends. You know, you can lose your way around the city if you don't know where you're going.
Watch out for each other. Like you said with the friends, make
Yeah.
sure you have friends that you trust and will watch out
For sure,
you.
yeah. You know, even
'Cause-
like if you're wanting to try stuff, it's like be careful, know who you're with.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's see what's another good thing from high school,
In high school,
like besides time management.
I guess you just have to get out of the habit that you think like you can just get by, just like I guess
It's a good one.
not giving 100% kind of. I kind of I never really studied in high school, honestly. Like, if I'm being honest, for my classes, I didn't study a whole lot.
Of course.
but, college, like you have to study or else you're gonna get lost behind. And it's like almost impossible to get back from that. But that's just my biggest thing from transitioning.
So just trying to spread the news here real quick. You know, trying to make sure everyone starts coming up. We basically wanted to bring in some people. They're coming. Some people have classes, whatnot. But yeah, so studying is definitely a must. The way that like, for example, writing and rhetoric, our
Mhm.
class, that is like total shift into college mode. So that's analyzing exactly like what the author. It's not what the author meant. It's more like how you get to those points. Building your own argument and being like a credible writer. All that stuff. So shifting from that, not like concepts rather than mechanical structures. That's like just abstract ideas. It's kind of like hard for me because like I never really thought in that way, and like I'm still kind of struggling with that. We have to take 2 semesters of it, and I know this semester was pretty hard for me.
I like to take one. So.
Yeah, because did you even do it this semester or
No, I'm
So
doing
you're
it
doing
next
next?
year.
oh next year?
I got my credits transferred.
Okay.
Lucked out.
Freaking
Lucked out.
slight flex, but okay.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so studying. As long as you know your stuff, I mean, you're fine. Extra credit, that's a good thing. Like literally, they're like the easiest things. In my marketing class, he'll literally just ask for examples, and he'll say, if you critique this, I'll give you 1 point extra. So I got like 5 points for just talking to other people about whatever idea they brought up. And on top of that, there might be events to go to. Networking is really good. We had the CEO from Staples come in. He was really cool. They just consolidated with Office Depot, Office Max. Yeah, Office Max. And now running 2 whole companies with like over 50,000 employees. That's a pretty big jump.
Yeah.
And he's like a first-time CEO, so he was getting with all of the pretty close CEOs with him, finding out like what habits they make, and like they're a really good example of what you should be as a college student. They have that busy lifestyle.
Yeah.
They've got like no time on their hands. Well, okay, we have time, but like
Yeah.
in the sense that they should be doing stuff. So like the whole CEO challenge, like waking up at 5 and then doing whatever, like that would be really beneficial for college students. So like I really implore people to like read up on stuff like that.
Yeah.
yeah, time management.
I guess that's another thing
studying.
about college too, the opportunities. There's so many opportunities. Whatever your major is, whatever you're interested in, there's so many opportunities, and I can't stress that enough. You just gotta find them and take them. Like networking, that's
Yeah,
a big one for him.
yeah, random things, you know. All the fraternities at here may not be like too extensive, but they do have connections, you
Oh
know.
yeah,
A lot of professors will have been professionals in their field, and they know people, they know internships, you know, companies that are looking for stuff like that. So you get like a letter of rec from them. You go on from there, and it's like there's you're only limited by who you know, and that's where, you know, friends who maybe have different majors could like lead you to something and say, hey, someone at like an art firm may need some sort of like business minded people for like an internship, you know,
Yeah.
management kind of thing. Stuff like that is what people don't appreciate enough. There's like all these like tiny underappreciated things
oh yeah.
that could be utilized a lot better. What's like another? It's a good example. We have our own website for St. Anne's. It's kind of like LinkedIn for university students. They go through like a what's called filtering process with the administrators with that, and then they like list it on this website. And if you meet those requirements, it'll say, or if you like, you should do something else, stuff like that. And it's really helpful for because we know they're looking for us, not just like a broad kind of like ad kind of thing, you know. So like
Yeah.
that's something that like people don't use. Like I was looking at like the stats at the bottom. It said like, so I think we have like what 7,500 students this year. Like 6,200 of them didn't have a profile.
Really?
Well, like that they claimed it.
Oh wow.
So like of that, what is that? 1/7.
Yeah.
Whatever 1/7
Wow.
is basically the thing.
That's crazy.
But yeah. So what about you? What about your connection stories?
So my connection stories is so the pre-health, like I guess he's a pre-health guru. People call him Jason De La Rosa. He has so many connections, it's insane.
Wait,
So I'm a
who's that?
freshman. You don't know who that is?
No.
He's in Moody. He's like the main guy that does all the health stuff. Well, I mean, you probably wouldn't know him since you're like different
Okay.
majors, but he like, I guess he's like the, I don't know who else. Do y'all have like a coordinator or something? For
Probably.
So he's basically like that.
Like so, like not a dean, but like a,
no,
Okay.
no. He's strictly pre-health. Like,
Got it.
so he'll help with like your application to med school, everything. So he arranges like med school tours. Like last week, I went on a med school tour to University of Incarnate Word. That was really amazing, like, especially for a pre-med. You know, it's really like good opportunity you got to take. But and then there's a bunch of research opportunity if you're in that. I'm in the science, so me and Donovan kind of have different majors and different like point of views for this. So mine is usually more research usually. So there's a bunch of research opportunities. You just gotta speak to your professor mainly. Just make that connection with them.
Yeah, and I've noticed like so I started doing this like local community band kind of thing, and just like talking to these guys that have been playing for like 40 years. This one guy, he's like, I was he was leading with a band up in Florida, I guess down in Florida, for like 20 years. This big band that would go to like Disney
Yeah.
World or like just do random events for like a big band. And it's like really cool just to listen to all these guys' stories and these experiences. And like I actually got there through another connection. So stuff like that really opens up stuff that you couldn't do before because with all this
Yeah.
time, like we said, you have time for opportunities. You know, you will explore this as a freshman, like instead of just sitting around, you go, hey, let's go to the library and study, or hey, let's go to the library and do a freaking podcast.
Yeah, like
Stuff like this. I never thought
even
about doing
that.
this.
I never thought I'd be doing the podcast.
Exactly. Like I want, you know, everyone wants to do the YouTube channel now, and I like legit want to do this for myself, just so like I can look back on this and say that I did it. You know, I really wish someone told my younger self how important it was to look for opportunities, and like so many classes that I took that other people didn't know even existed really helped me with like, you know, like resume building, professional speaking,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Just like reaching out to professionals that like I wouldn't have done normally.
Yeah.
So, you know, when the time comes, look for those things, and it's like they're literally waiting for you just to like discover it. You know, all those like random food places that all the food trucks.
Yeah.
Like you'll be like have that one food truck you go to, and then like another day you'll go another route and you're like, oh snap, there's like this the direct competitor that's like way better or has something different. It's just like all those like different ways you can do something that
Mhm. Yeah,
it just
really
it
fun.
really what was it diversifies what you can actually do.
Yeah, especially here in Austin.
Yeah.
That's a biggest thing I noticed. It's just
Like just
diverse
exploring your
is.
city.
Yeah, especially since I come from like a small city, so
Mhm,
this is
mhm.
all new to me.
Yeah, I mean the part of Dallas where I'm from, really boring. It's like no culture. Pretty much just chains, food chains. We have like our what do you want to call it? Our like downtown that had a lot of unique places. Like we have Snow Cone Lady. Her sign literally just says Snow Cone Lady. She's like the best. But she's only open from like summer. And like if you would always pass it, but you could never see it because it was like behind some buildings. And that's like not too accessible because like since they're building at the moment, it's like a bunch of like those like gravel roads.
Yeah.
Like it's like $2 for like a large snow cone. It's huge, and like there's so many like unique things you can do, and like that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
like I had a friend who knew someone who made their own like drink so much that like they made a drink for him. Like they put it on the card. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah,
That's awesome.
stuff like that. Like when you can actually become like a regular that impacts the culture. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, let's see. We got time management, studying, opportunities.
Yeah.
Those are the three biggest things that we can definitely say from high school to college. Um, I guess moving on from that, we want to talk about health. Um, with our injuries, physical health is number one. Um, I have been, I guess, like seriously working out for like 3 years now. Um, it really hit me like going into high school because I was like 160 pounds, 5'5", and I was just like I was so fat. I was like I'm tired of being fat, so I literally ate nothing but like salad and like grilled chicken with nothing on it and lost like 15 pounds, 20 pounds. And I was all right for the moment, but then I was like, I want to get big,
Yeah.
I can be like,
You want to be like me.
yeah,
You
I
don't
was
wanna
I
be
was
like
your
me.
size my freshman year,
Really?
and yeah, tell them your story though.
My story.
Going in, did you say you were like 90 pounds?
Yeah, I was 90 pounds my freshman year, and I was like, what, 4'9", 4'10".
You grew a whole foot over your entire span of.
Yeah, well, from like my span like freshman year to like senior year.
You grew a foot.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm not like exactly a foot.
Okay, but going from
I'm
4'9"?
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was
Okay.
like I was like 4 something.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Because that's like,
like I was so small freshman year. It's insane. If you've seen pictures of me, like it's crazy.
all right then, damn. Okay,
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, and then like going from 90 to 140, that's 50 pounds in 4 years.
I mean 130. But,
You told me on
that's-
140.
No, 130.
Oh my gosh, this man.
I'm a soccer player. We're not big.
I know, but still. Yeah, and that was one thing that I suffered from with football. I was like 150, 160 max between my football years, and even playing JV and like playing against varsity that are all 6'1", 200 pounds, and then on top of that, our varsity sucked. So going to play other teams that are like 6'3", 220, that was crazy. Yeah, playing those big guys, it's scary.
Yeah.
Definitely
I'm
don't
not a
play football unless you're actually big.
I'm not that football guy.
Yeah,
I'm the real football guy.
It's really
Real
funny
football.
when you see like the kickers that are like 5'9" and like maybe 150, and they're like right next to those 6'3" guys, and it's hilarious when they're like hugging after he makes it.
That's how you know they're all soccer players.
It's hilarious.
That's
Yeah,
how you
it's
know it's a
hilarious.
soccer player.
Yeah. So like physical health, take care of yourself. You gotta eat right. You're gonna have that meal plan. You're gonna have so many times to
Comes in
eat.
clutch.
Yeah, and like I eat three meals a day, and I'm down to like maybe like a quarter of what it should be because we only have 3 weeks left. This man spent like what, $20? Like how much? Like
I don't know. I don't know how I have so much meal plan. Honestly.
are you still at like 900 or are you at like 600 now?
I'm at like 800.
800. Okay, this man
Yeah.
has spent less than half of his entire meal plan
Yeah.
in the span of what, 3 months, 2 months.
Yeah. But I eat in my room a lot too. Though.
Oh gosh.
But I do eat in my room.
I would definitely say finances. Let's get to that real quick.
Ooh.
Finances. I went into school with a whole summer's worth for 2 jobs. Um, working. Let's see, hold up. So 16 with that. Basically 56 hours a week because I had two jobs. And I pretty much spent it on books, food, clothes. Not even that many clothes, but still, gas because I didn't realize how freaking useful the bus was. But yeah, like especially in Austin, it's more expensive than where we're from.
Yeah,
Just freaking getting a burger is like $14.
it's crazy.
Like I get In-N-Out. Back home, In-N-Out was pretty cheap. It was like what? I don't even think it was like $6 for like a normal burger
I
with
don't-
fries
yeah, I
and a
don't have
drink.
an In-N-Out, so.
Oh my gosh, like that's clutch right there at 3 in the morning,
yeah.
2 in the morning
Oh,
because
yeah.
they close at 2. But down here, In-N-Out's cheap. We have like a Hot Dotties and what was it? A good burger place on South
I'm
Congress.
Whataburger.
Well, yeah, but everyone has Whataburger. That's like a chain thing. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but
Like
it's so good.
those like craft burgers, kind of like Hot Dotties.
No, but In-N-Out's a chain.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that's cheap here.
That's
Compared to back home.
Yeah, that's true.
With like McDonald's and Burger King back home. Like those special burgers like Hot Dotties, they freaking like between like 10 and $16. Then you have like maybe like a shake, another $6. Fries probably $4. So you just spent $25 on yourself. And then like on top of that, trying to find a job when you freaking have a class, like to study for it, not actually being in class, but studying. That's pretty hard. But before we get into that, keep going with health. Mental health is also extremely important.
Ooh, yes.
Motivation, finding your motivation
Yes.
this late in the semester.
Gotta push through.
Having that less time, like having only a semester to fix your grades rather than the whole year.
Yeah.
It's like one mistake and you have to spend the whole rest of the semester grinding as hard as you can.
Yeah.
I think definitely everyone figures that out freshman year, but it's like at least make it early on before it really matters.
Yeah.
Let's see what's another good one. Utilize your school's resources. I would not have spent any of this myself because one, I don't have the place, the space, or the time.
Yeah.
But if I do it when I'm here, not at work, I don't have to use any of my own money. So, they rent out cameras to us. We have this whole room that's literally just for stuff like this.
Yeah.
All this equipment in
People
here.
come help set us all this up
Yeah.
for us.
Professionals ask, like that's the
Yeah.
whole connection thing. We
Yeah.
have 2 audio guys that are perfect for helping us with this. Like I came in here with a DSLR camera saying, "Hey, we're gonna use that as the external," and then like, "No, you're just gonna use a webcam." I was like,
Like, okay.
"Yeah," and like it has an external mic on that, but it's like for I don't know. I don't even know what you want to call it. 'Cause I'm not an audio guy. So yeah, these dudes just like set it up and we're good. And this is probably after you've made money on YouTube that you could actually afford this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I think utilize whatever resources your school has with like the
Yeah.
writing center. That
Oh,
really
that
helps.
one's a good one. The
Math lab,
That's helpful.
health and wellness. So we
Yeah.
have a practicing nurse on campus. She led me to my chiropractor. There's a guy, he's like a case manager. He has like connections that he specifically goes out and talks to places like my chiropractor practice, or if you need like, I don't know, physical therapy, literally anything, probably like long-term counseling, stuff like that.
Yeah. They even have counseling on staff 24/7 here.
Yeah.
Or at least on call.
Yeah, but
If
they
not actually here.
yeah, they want you to use it as like short-term, not
Yeah, oh yeah, short-term, but even just having that option is great.
For sure,
if you
yeah.
need it.
Yeah, if you need like stress relieving strategies, structure building.
Well, that's
stuff like
another
that.
thing with mental health though. You want to find something that helps you release stress. That's probably one of the biggest thing that I had to discover
Mhm.
again.
What was yours?
Mine's soccer. I still go out and play soccer.
Okay,
Not
that's a good
really
one.
supposed to, but
I mean, you don't play like too intense.
no, not intensely. No, just go shoot the ball around a little bit. But that's just
How long do you usually like play for?
It depends. I mean, I try for an hour, hour and a half at a time,
That's good.
but
Should be hitting the gym.
I try.
I know you can't like squat and all that, but
I mean, I can squat. I'm good, kind of, but it's just.
yeah, but I mean, like when you start getting like that heavyweight,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna blow out your knee.
I mean, would I squat heavyweight? And you look at me.
I know, but I'm saying once I got you to that point, we'd hit a plateau because like physically you probably wouldn't. be able
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
You know, so that's like a really good way to have like a good stress reliever, physical activity.
Yeah.
I had a friend back home who would like walk for hours. Like
Oh,
he
really?
lost like 100 pounds.
Oh,
He was a
wow.
big boy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he would like put music on, have like a big water bottle, walk around. Like there was this forest near where we were, and just walk that for like 3 hours a day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then he gained it back because he's a chef.
Oh, he's a chef?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So Sawyer, if you're listening to this, please help yourself. Like lose your weight again, dude.
Oh, I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
I don't care. He needs it because it kind of looks gross.
So next topic.
So yeah, going on off of health, that goes to dieting. So like we talked about, two biggest thing about dieting is structure and what do you want to call it? Discipline, I guess.
Discipline, yeah.
So having that option there is really useful because it keeps you from going off campus and spending your money. Even if you bought your car, definitely would say use it. People don't spend it enough because they want to go out. You know, I would keep going out for like, you know, weekends, all that kind of stuff. If you're going out every day, it's like use that to study, use that to go out and like actually do something helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, so because I only have 2 classes and I have this like huge 4 or 5 hour span until jazz, all I did was sit around and like maybe play video games. But then I was like, let's actually do stuff. So then I went to the library, rented a camera, started like just doing like shoots, just going around shooting the forests, some city views. We have like this really cool hill on the theater looking over.
Yeah.
The skyline looks great. I just wish I had like a longer lens, more telescopic lens. But yeah, I mean, like become an amateur at something, like build your craft, and then go out and then build after that. Yeah. So like with dieting, you could you know, start a new diet because you have like that money to do so. And then once you're got that built, you just add on slowly. Like that whole consistency thing is the most it could be your worst enemy or your best friend, you know. You could be consistently mediocre or consistently really good. So it's a lot easier to fall off than it is to get on.
And it's hard to get back on.
Yeah.
That's one of the toughest.
Yeah, because I know as soon as I'm out of this chiropractor, out of these sessions, I'm gonna hit the gym really hard, and I'm gonna take it slow at first, obviously, but like
No, he's not.
I'm gonna get it ready. Sorry, when was the last time you were in the gym? Yeah.
Call
So
next question.
yeah, definitely dieting is a huge thing. Eat breakfast, regardless of if you have a class at 12. Wake up at 10. That's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
Just know when your hall's open, your cafeteria open, because our cafeteria for one of them opens at 7:30 and goes to 10:30. The other one opens at 10:30,
They stay open.
and then they're not even open really until like 10:40, like to actually like make meals. and all
Oh, to
that.
make meals. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can still go there.
It's like breakfast till well, I don't know, 12 maybe.
I think so. Yeah, it's later there.
Yeah, but then like it's so weird because then they'll have like random periods where they close to get ready.
Oh yeah.
That's weird. So,
It is weird.
and then like certain things will only be open. So like the grill is usually open from for the other one, the one that's open from 7:30. That'll open at 10:30 and then go all the way to 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hunt is open from 10:30 to 8. Ooh, oh my goodness. Yeah, just try new things. I wanted to start doing like not dairy free, but dairy alternatives. I guess somewhat dairy free, but like I eat a lot of cheese, and I intake a lot of milk, like with protein shakes.
Yeah.
I used to do water, but I was like, that's gross. because like it tastes better with milk.
Yeah.
So I started using like almond milk or like cashew milk, which is pretty interesting.
Cashew milk.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I mean, it doesn't taste like anything.
Really?
It's like white water. I mean, it doesn't taste like water, but it
Well,
doesn't.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's
It
like
doesn't taste
literally
milk.
just looks like milk, and it's fine. I mean, I'll put my protein powder, blueberries, bananas, some oatmeal, and like spinach, and blend that up. Like I drink that for breakfast when I'm like running late usually because I'm like trying to get that consistency that we're talking about. Um, yeah, I mean, this kid doesn't even eat breakfast until
What are you talking about? I eat
first
breakfast.
meal is like when you get out of Spanish, right? That's it. What, 12:15? Well, no,
12.
hold up. 11, 12. Yeah,
Like
11:15. So
11:15.
12 o'clock's when this is this man's first meal, and he's been up for the past hour, 2 hours.
Barely.
Okay, what I'm saying is if you got up at like what 9:30,
Yeah, I wake up at 9 usually.
and then yeah,
Except for Fridays.
wake up at 9, go eat, and then go to class.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Just getting up is just tough.
So dieting, that leads to habits.
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about, discipline, consistency, all these are like this strong base you need to build freshman year for your future endeavors. Whatever you do freshman year will basically set the tone, the speed that you're going to be doing the next semesters and onwards.
Yeah.
Like this was a good example. Having a class that you really enjoy really gets you motivated for the day, and when you don't have that class, it's like, well, now what?
Yeah.
So once you find that like hobby that you use from another part of class of the campus, that's when you kind of just start getting into what you really like. Do stuff that you wouldn't normally do, like I never really utilized Google Calendar until I started getting my job because all of them use it, and so I put that in with my school calendar, so it shows me exactly like classes and then what homework is due that night. So then as soon as I'm done, I'll get an alert that says, hey, I've got like Spanish homework due at midnight.
He doesn't do it.
Yeah, I was late. Sorry, Miss Cavazos. Shout out. She's
Shout out.
Spanish one.
Extra credit.
1302.
Extra credit. Shout out our class.
Yeah, so habits, get good habits, get rid of bad habits. Give me a habit story for you.
Habit story for me.
Good or
is-
bad.
I mean, you're gonna believe it or not, but I used to actually go to the gym, earlier this year, earlier in the
To go to
semester.
the restroom and then like
Yeah, and I would go to the restroom and leave, yeah. But I did go to the gym for a while, and then one day I decided, it's too cold, I'll just take a week off, and then haven't gone since,
oh my gosh, when was that?
like a month ago.
2014.
Yeah, 2014.
Oh my gosh, it's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. I mean, I go like once. I was like, I need to go more, but
Yeah, of course.
yeah, like I used to be in like a habit. Like I go Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturdays.
Oh, I went like every day. That's probably why I got the injury because I didn't give my
Yeah.
body any rest.
And look at me, I'm like a stick, so like it takes me a little longer.
Well, it's because you don't eat.
I do eat.
Not enough.
I
That's
do.
what I told you. You said you were working out and not eating enough. You're probably barely
No,
even
I
getting
eat
2,000
enough. I just don't
calories.
eat breakfast.
So you're not eating enough.
Yeah, I have a
Bro, eating 2,000 calories is what you need to like
I have a
maintain
midnight
weight.
snack. That's why I don't eat breakfast.
Also, okay, quick note on that. I was just thinking about this, like, when people say it's bad to eat late, don't like always assume stuff that you read like that. Like, find out what works for you. I was hearing so much information about cut carbs out. Do high carb intakes. Just do what works for you. So like, take the time and like really think about what you've done in the past that worked, didn't work, did have no effect. A good example of that is like long-term gains come from those short-term decisions. Make sure whatever you decide to do, you do it out for at least 6 weeks, so you can see what that does to your body, how you feel. For the summer, I wanted to get a little bit bigger, so I was like 160 beginning of summer, and then I ate more because I knew I was gonna increase my frequency and intensity in the gym. So I would eat like 6 eggs, 2 servings of oatmeal, and a protein shake that I said earlier. And that was
Yeah.
already 1,300 calories, probably more with salsa. You always have to have salsa.
Yeah, of course. Salsa's the best.
And then so for lunch, I would start with a chicken breast and like a sweet potato, and then for dinner, I would do whatever the family was making, or would make my own thing like tilapia stuff like that. You know, switching to like those lean meats
Yeah.
that have the high protein, low fat. Um, so going off of that, after about 3 4 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm seeing about a pound a week, so that was pretty good. But then I was like, I want to pick up more. So after that, I started doing 2 chicken breasts, and I think I started with like 4 eggs and bumped up to 5. But yeah, I basically like added just a little bit per day. So like maybe like 250, 500 calories per day. So that added up to that extra pound on top of the pound I was already doing. So by week 4 or 5, I was doing like 2 pounds a week. And then by the end, I gained 20 pounds. So I was like sitting at 180.
I need to start doing that.
And then like cardio alternatives. Like when you're working out, making that habit, do something you enjoy. For example, don't run. I hate running on the treadmill.
Treadmill's,
Swim,
okay, treadmill's the worst to run on.
swim, row, cycle, kayak, literally anything
Kayak.
else but run on the treadmill. There's no benefit. It hurts your knees.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. You're gonna quit, regardless of what people say. You're gonna quit. No one likes running on the treadmill.
That sucks.
But if you get ripped off being the treadmill, shit,
if it works for
you do you,
if
man.
it works for you, stick with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, find what works for you, because other people will try to put their experiences on you, and we're telling you ours. But that's because I'm telling you what works for me. It's, there's no like one size fits all kind of thing,
Yeah.
and that's a problem that people are running into because there's so much information. It's like, what do I pick? So pick what works for you. You have any stories on that?
No, I mean, as you can tell,
Yeah, big difference.
yeah.
Pretty much same height except for minus an inch, and then 40 pounds heavier. No, 50.
50.
So I'm sitting at like 175 actually, so like
30.
45. So that leads us to social and friendships. With connections, you have to have friendships. You know, we're both living. How far is it from here, from home for you?
5.5 hours.
So like 4 hours for me. None of my friends came here from.
None of mine.
Some of mine go to UT, but even then, that's still like a 20 minute drive with traffic, and I'm like, I don't have the time to see them because I'm not going down there, stuff like that. Do you have any friends that go to UT or?
I do, yeah. I mean, I haven't talked to them.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I talked to one, but that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all fun and like nice to think about on high school, but like this is a whole new chapter.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make so many new friends.
Yeah,
and don't get out of your comfort zone. That's my biggest thing.
Getting out of your
Yeah,
comfort
it's,
zone is like
It was hard.
super big. You know,
That was hard for me at first.
at first you're still in your comfort zone.
Sure.
I don't know, even like just going to like a random involvement fair. We had the what was it called? Becoming an RA. We had involvement, the welcome team. Those were the past few weeks, and I really thought about doing it, but I was like, if I want to transfer, is it really best for me to do this? So I think like definitely just do it. There's no harm in what's gonna happen. No one's gonna stop you from quitting, unless it's like maybe like a club sport, but that's on your own like financial loss. You know.
That's true.
At the beginning of the semester, I wanted to do rowing, swimming, and rugby. However, rowing and rugby both cost $400. Swimming was 75.
What?
Yeah, and rowing started from 5 to 7:30 in the morning. And on Saturdays, you get a break, so you get to wake up at 7.
you get a whole. You get a break.
You get a whole 2 hours.
Wow.
So yeah, I would say do something if you wanted to, and if it doesn't work for you, then don't do it again.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know, and then doing like fraternities, clubs, stuff like that really helps. You know, I love music, so like I was in the marching band all of high school. I played in the concert band, jazz band, all that stuff, like the full orchestras kind of stuff. And like any way to play my instrument is fun. So doing jazz band here was pretty obvious for me. I was like, I want to do this, and it's here's the thing that I want to bring up is pros and cons, like benefits that outweigh negatives. So for example, with jazz, it's a 1 hour class. Um, it's only an elective, and it doesn't even go towards my major. Like because like if I was minoring in major, it could be like an ensemble class,
Yeah.
but it takes 6.5 hours out of my week that I could be putting towards something else. Working, I want to work more, but I can't because I only have these small windows that I can work between before I have to go to jazz, and I'm not getting any more benefit like than my own pleasure and like playing my instrument. And even though I want to do it as like a side gig kind of thing, it's still not helping me enough. You know,
Yeah.
there's even though I'm like playing to like improve my craft of being a trombone player, unless I'm actually like using it to make money, then I don't see a reason to justify staying in it. And I know like what was something that was there something you have that kind of like outweighs its benefits?
I mean, I guess I could say. I mean, like I was considering, playing the club soccer here,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I was just thinking about it, and it's kind of like it's a lot of time, like a lot of time and effort. You gotta put forth. You gotta set aside along your day. So just kind of like you just gotta either love it or be like passionate about it, or
Mhm.
But
Like that.
but I mean, I love soccer still. Like don't get me wrong, but it's just like I don't know if I could. If I could have, I know I couldn't have done it the first semester. Don't overdo yourself the first semester. I guess that's what I could say.
Yeah, Julian, if you're still watching, if you're doing good like mentally, then please tell me your secrets. Like this man literally does everything. I'm pretty sure he's in a frat. He's in like
And
whole
I
lot
think
of
it'd be easier to
clubs.
say what he's not in.
Yeah, it's easier to say what he's not in, and that's probably what maybe two things.
Yeah, probably.
He's not in this podcast because you were supposed to come here, but that's none of my business.
Just gonna sip my tea.
Yeah, just my water
So,
because you should
just
be
gonna
drinking
sip my
water.
water. It is water, as you can see.
Mhm. Yeah, don't
Just gonna
demonetize
sip
this
my
YouTube.
water.
Yeah, so get involved. Make those friendships. I know we kind of went on a tangent there, but in future episodes, we're definitely going to be bringing in people and their own experiences. I mean, hopefully,
We gotta find people.
we did have people.
We gotta find.
Doesn't
people that
matter.
won't flake.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, that's some big tea right there.
Julian.
I heard they were out of a chai tea at the at Joe's. So with involvement, I wanted to talk about jobs and internships. So currently, I'm doing part time at a men's retail store. At the beginning of this semester, I was working at another one up in Domain. I really love the company. It's just it was far. Drive kind of sucks. I didn't like I didn't like the pay, and I didn't like my responsibilities. I had been working with the company for about 8 months at that point, and I definitely could have been doing the next role up. And this was prevalent because I was doing my job so well, I had nothing to do for the rest of the day, like no flex whatsoever. Not a weird flex, nothing. I got so bored because I couldn't. I like, being like a sales support rather than sales associate. It's like you can only support for so long. Sorry, all those guys who like playing support on Overwatch. Right? That's kind of boring.
Never played Overwatch, so
I played it like twice. I'm in the Diamond League.
weird flex, but okay.
Check out my article online. But yeah, I mean, like working a job, it's perfectly okay. Only 18 hours isn't that hard at all. I knock out 14 during the weekend, and I haven't had a weekend to myself really, but I don't really go out, so like it's not a big problem.
Yes.
I guess that's something you want to think about when you get a job. So if you want to work through the week, because I could definitely do that with that little gap in between. Do like 4 hours a day. That's 20 hours. But I wanted to do weekends since I'm not doing anything else. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, were you trying to do a job next year or next semester?
I'm actually gonna volunteer at the hospital. The hospital
There you
here.
go. There you go.
So that's good exposure for future medical professions. So that's what I'm actually applying to right now. I actually need to finish that. Just a little flex.
FPS
metrics.
flex per second. It's way too high. Yeah, volunteering is really good, and I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of places down here in Austin that have those opportunities. With my job, I didn't even find it until I passed by, and I was just like, I'll just keep a resume. And now I'm having like, this is the most fun I've had in retail so far, and it's
yeah.
just a lot better for me, like culture wise, stuff like that. And finding something you really like, even if it's not related to your field.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be related to your field at all.
If I was running a company that worked in fashion, that's something different. But like because I'm working in fashion, like I enjoy dressing up well or like looking at nice clothes. Um, if I could work at if there was like a dealership close, that'd be pretty cool. I know there's a couple, but I mean, like I already have sales associates or sales experience. Even the car's a little bit different.
The flex, the makeover.
Oh,
Stay
I
tuned.
mean that's a different part. Um, but yeah, so jobs, you can do it. Just don't overwork yourself.
Exactly.
I could definitely do more. Thought about doing a second job, but I wanted to like make sure I know what I'm doing. Especially like next semester, I'll be taking 18 hours instead of 17 this semester. But
Yeah.
17 this like what I'm doing in my classes, 17 is nothing.
It's honestly not bad. People make college out like, but that's the thing that you're not in class as much as you think you would be. Honestly, like a lot of it's outside studying. You're out of class, so it's just back to like your choice pretty much.
Like there's
You choose
a
what you do.
little food truck on campus, and I'm pretty sure every day I say, hey, let's go get tacos. And, like I'll just go out there and study after class and listen to whatever.
I always go to the same place to study. I always go to the same table underneath the trees, like right outside the bookstore. That little area.
Oh,
I always go there. Sorry, nerd alert.
yeah, definitely get a job if you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
That extra income helps pay for random expenses, books for next semester. Like I really want to buy a new instruments for gig playing, and now that the new semester's coming up, springtime is really good for like gig playing
Oh,
outside.
yeah.
So I really can't wait for that. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna finish out real quick with best moments in our college experiences. Would you like to start us?
For sure. I definitely have to say kayaking.
That was
Honestly,
so much fun.
kayaking. That's the new hobby we found.
Yeah, it's not even that expensive. I think we found like a good one
No.
for like $300-400. The only thing is
Yeah.
where would we store it?
And how are we gonna get it?
Yeah, exactly.
Even then, you can just go out and rent a kayak for like what was it, like $10, $12?
Well, for the double, it was I think $12 an hour.
$12. What was it for the single? I think it was cheaper for the
No, I
single.
thought it was more.
I thought it
Because
was-
like with two, it's like it's like splitting the cost.
Oh, that's true.
I think it was like 13 for a single.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't much.
Yeah,
a
of course.
big
Like it's not, that's not bad at all.
No,
But like
no.
they're probably like no one's out there right now because like we had
freezing.
all that rain that flooded
I'm
pretty much
they're allowed
everything.
to be out there now.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Yeah, freezing.
And it's just kind of not pretty right now. It's not as pretty as it could be.
Oh no, but yeah, I definitely have to say
Yeah.
kayaking was probably the best memory, and that's kind of how we met, really.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, even at the beginning of the year, we were kind of friends, but it was just like
The kayaking. was
those
like-
experiences really.
Yeah, shout out to freshman seminar.
Freshman seminar, yeah. So
Ooh,
Uh,
it's a class. I love it.
so since we go to like a liberal arts school, we have this class like freshman seminar. Everything has like its own like theme for the year. So ours is like eco literacy. It's like becoming more sustainable in your life through like transport, waste, proper waste management, stuff like that. And like looking the first semester or the first few weeks were about like looking at being eco-friendly through books and then applying that to our life. So a really good example of that was like the one that hit me the most was like No Impact Man.
Ooh, that one was so good.
This
That
man
one was so good.
literally wanted to go completely carbon neutral, like no carbon footprint. And to do that, he wanted to get rid of like all single-use products,
Yeah.
like plastic silverware, the tissue paper,
Yeah,
pretty much all wrapping that wasn't or like that light plastic that you kind of use once, like just like a box.
yeah.
And then on top of that, not even using a bike because to create that bike caused
Yeah.
you know
Or
caused,
even the buzz, nothing.
yeah, and
Just
so
straight
yeah, 'cause
portions.
what he did was he broke it up into steps, and then he found out like, crap, I can't do this.
I'm still not fulfilling my
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah, and then you like, if everyone did that, of course it would work. But then I thought, you know, oh man, this is a big tangent, but like,
Yeah.
we'll get to that later. But yeah, doing the whole no carbon footprint is very dramatic. But
Yeah.
if we all slowly decrease our impact, then it could really help the environment. And
true.
because of this class, we were able to go out and see how we actually impact the environment. We'll see as many pictures as you want, but until you actually see the scale,
Exactly.
you don't know how bad it is. And it's
Yeah.
like, just because it's not here doesn't mean it's not happening.
Exactly.
You know, we have it so much better than overseas with China and India having a lot of our e-waste. You can't see the actual like landfills, and our landfills here are technically better because it's just mostly food and like maybe like furniture stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But over there, they've got toxic chemicals,
So
hazardous
weird.
runoff, radioactive waste. It's crazy how bad it is, and
Everything no one wants.
it's still, maybe 20, 30 years behind where we should be. But this class really helped us like really see that and like connect with each other. Like this is the only class that I really know everyone's name
Same
on a
honestly,
consistent
yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
Like I'll see someone and be like, oh, what was like what their I know their name starts with like an R. What's the rest of it though?
Yeah, this class is actually like most of them like actually like my friends. I actually talk to them on a regular basis, which is really cool.
Yeah. So what's another good moment?
Another good moment. Let's see. I mean, I don't want to talk about it again, but that med school tour, that was really awesome for me. I thought that was a
Wait,
lot
med
of
school
fun.
tour?
Yeah.
I don't remember you talking about that.
Oh, yeah. The University of Incarnate Word.
Okay.
So yeah, I was in medical school. It's like new. The first graduating class is 2021.
Oh, so that's you're ahead of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
So
they're
it's
brand new.
brand new med school. It's so cool. Like it was amazing, man. That was like the funnest thing, like besides kayaking.
Yeah. Really, I think one of my best memories was meeting that CEO. He was so cool to talk about like actual business practices, um, becoming to that point of being a CEO. And he actually has a daughter that goes here. And I talked to him. I was like, hey, if you're ever back here, let me take you to get some coffee here. And I think that's what some people don't appreciate enough is that you can literally talk to any professional. You just have to say hi. They're people too.
Yeah.
And when I was back in high school in senior year, we had a class that was the whole point of it. We would talk to people in our field of interest. So like mine was like automotive business.
Yeah.
So where I lived, the new Toyota headquarters had just opened. So I emailed as many people as I could. I just said, hey, I'm doing an independent study in the field of automotive business. I would love to talk to you about your career path and how you got there. Maybe even tour the facility if that's possible. Just let me know what time works for you.
Yeah.
And I sent that to literally the CEO of Toyota North America, Jim Lentz.
Mhm.
And we went on I didn't know this, but it was on his birthday. And we were touring around the facility. And then we got to have nothing but cakes with
Wow.
the CEO of Toyota of North America.
That's awesome.
And I would never have thought about doing that.
That's awesome.
And going from there, I got to talk to Jeff Bezos, Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, because
Wow.
he lives in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was down there at the time. As one of my friends had met him, and I was like, he was like, hey, I got a friend that's really into entrepreneurship. Talk about me, and we talked on the phone for a little bit, met in person. Yeah,
Wow.
it was really fun. It's just like
awesome.
literally just put yourself out there. They will respond, and if they don't, talk to the
Okay,
person that
yeah.
they work with. Like,
just keep
and
trying.
then yeah, until someone answers, then when you meet them in person, say, hey, I was that guy that emailed you, but
Yeah.
what's up?
What's up? You
What's
didn't
up?
answer. You didn't answer then. How about now?
Hey, you have any coffee here? Because I want some tea. So that's another good experience. Having that freedom is really good. I think this experience itself is really fun.
Oh yeah.
Doing YouTube is really cool. Like, it's something totally different than I've ever done. I've never been I'm so into tech, but like finding out how to edit like videos and photos, doing like actual like podcast. Like I never thought
Yeah.
about doing this. This is wild. And actually just doing this is just like it's like a dream. Because like the fact that you can actually do this is like a legit job now. It's crazy. You can
Yeah.
actually make money off this, and
It's a lot of
just
money too.
finding new stuff like this to do. I really want to do like photography, doing stuff like that. It's just really cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But other than that, pretty much concluded here. Is there any like final words you want to say?
I guess no, just stay tuned to the channel.
Yeah, we have some big things coming. Even though I don't want to restrict myself to anything, I do have what I like to do. Um, you know, I really like cars. We really like cars. So a lot of car reviews coming up.
Yeah.
But fashion's a big thing. We're actually going to do a series, college makeover. Jake's number one. We're gonna fix up his style. That's gonna be fun. Definitely would say just if there's anything that you want advice, coverage, something that's different that you've never thought about before, leave a comment about it. Say something that we might be able to actually try. You know, there's so many people here. I don't mind going out and talking to someone and bringing them in. Just say, hey, do you mind talking about something that you've done that people can try to learn. You
Yeah.
know, learning how to edit I think is a pretty useful skill, not just for video editing,
Or
but
anything.
picture editing. Just it's like those little tiny little touches that separate like the whole automatic filters versus manual filters.
Yeah.
And it's like those authentic touches really
Make it
makes the difference between
Yeah.
a robot and a human.
That's true.
Yeah, so other than that, dude, we're done. So thank you for watching. We'll be back here next week. Quick, was it?
Next week? No, that
Next
sounds
Friday?
good.
Are you leaving? Are you going back home?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you're not going back home?
I'm not going back. I have to work.
Oh, that sucks.
So late night gang's only going to be a late night man next week. When do you leave?
Wednesday.
Oh, rip. Okay. When do you get back? Like Sunday night?
Yeah.
Hmm, alright.
We can do it Tuesday if you want.
Well, we can do it anytime, but yeah, so definitely gonna do a weekly podcast. That's gonna be fun. Probably a couple like series, like the whole fashion makeovers. Definitely gonna do fitness videos when I can get back in the actual working condition.
You won't see me in them.
Exactly. But that was a little weird fire on yourself.
Yeah, you know. You just gotta join it sometimes. Make fun of yourself before they can.
Bro, your face makes fun of you before you can. But yeah, I mean, bro, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. Tune in next week. Until then, have a great Thanksgiving. Look out for more stuff on the YouTube channel. So thanks. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go hit it. I can't end it from here. You have to go there.
You can do it. Just kidding.
Click the big red button. There you go.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought I didn't know that one.
Yeah, that one.